V's head tilts slightly, and the eyes do a quick flicker before she blinks. And there is a pause, then a look to Yuna. I think you said that was the third, or your first room.
No, it couldn't have been the first. We did that room with the throne before.
And then we had the tavern one, that was number 2, so arcade was number 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so
your first room coming in, our third room going out, right?
Yeah. So then after this, it is some tunnels, and then we should run into that mine and the kobolds again.
The scratches on the walls have disappeared because it was sometime after this that Jim started making them. And one tunnel looks the same as another, but it is still trending in an upward way with a slight turn to the right, just ever so slight.
So not much has happened since we last left.
Other than sudden fluffy elephant expansion.
There was fluffy elephant expansion, yes.
Blue fluffy elephants clogging up hallways.
And now there's a theme song. I approve.
Main thing I've noticed is I'm down to 1 first level spell, 1 second level spell, and that's it. I have exhausted everything else. I think we need a long rest before we go to deal with kobolds.
So you want to sleep in the tunnel?
I don't want to, but I also don't know if we have much of a choice.
We could always go to the kobolds, speak with them, and ask them for lodging. They would have a more defensible and hospitable place to stay than this.
Assuming they're willing to be friendly, yes.
You're assuming
they were last
do it.
If they're not, then at least we can just go past their mine and spend the night right outside it. Even that would be safer than in these Underdark tunnels.
Are you sure we haven't, come across anybody in them other than when we get to a real room?
Okay, but we also just had a stuffed elephant try to go life-size and almost crush us, so I don't think I trust anything about this place.
Maria kind of spits out a bit of, or scrapes off a bit of fluff and kind of just twitches like, let's not do that again.
If it happens again, and if it bursts out of the bag and rematerializes the same way that it did before, then we'll end up facing the same problem while being smothered in our sleep. And I get that let's face it, there's risks no matter where we choose to stay the night. But as far as I'm concerned, this place, we can do better.
Let's just see where it goes.
I suppose the question is not where we should rest, but rather, could we get past the kobolds without confrontation?
Well, it's only been a few hours. They probably remember us as those surface dwellers who wanted safe passage before and didn't do anything to harm them.
Yes, but has it though? Remember, we've been going to pockets of other times and other places. We do not necessarily know how that has affected the flow of time in the outer realms.
Either way, we'll still have to approach them and be diplomatic. We still have to ask them for safe passage and then be sure not to do anything to upset them. As best we can, anyway. We won't know what they'll do until we meet with them.
So valid point.
Maria just kind of shrugs. As long as I get to take a nap soon, I'm good.
Let's continue on then. If we really get completely exhausted before we run into the kobolds, then we'll meet that problem once we find it.
So you go along the tunnel, and it's beginning to look more familiar, and soon enough, you come to that crack in the wall that leads to the kobolds' tunnels. Except this time, it's blocked up by a bunch of wood, very hastily assembled, it appears.
Well, that's new. Maria, could you try calling to the other side?
Maria shrugs, and so Maria calls out in Draconic, trying to sound chill. Hey guys, you in there? You doing good?
So if you sound chill and draconic, does that mean you sound like a frost dragon?
Here.
I mean, that's probably a peak nerd dad right there.
Perception check. Anyone who wants to see if you hear any response.
Let me check here. Perception.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 9, so she doesn't really hear anything.
All right, well, a lot of good rolls there. So Yuna, Jim, and Maria hear the sounds of scratching and scuffing. Basically, you hear footsteps kind of going in all directions. Some of them seem to be coming towards the wood. Some of it sounds like they're hurrying away from the wood. And you hear kind of whispered.
And just to refresh my memory, were we going, like, I think I remember hearing some discussion about warning the couples or warning someone about, the drow that might be coming up this way or something like that?
Yeah, given Kuntuny just told us her plans for some reason, we're going to let the kobolds know that she wants to close up the mine and the Underdark tunnels completely to cut off all access, which also means driving them out of their home by lethal force because Kuntuny.
So
Keep that to ourselves until we're out of the cobalt mine on the other side, though, just in case.
Somebody takes a breath, is like, yo, listen, we just want to pass through. We're not causing no trouble. We don't want to hurt nobody. We're good.
There's a long silence, and then you hear sort of a raspy, squeaky voice say, "Go away!"
Maria, indicates, I think they want us to piss off. So Maria turns back to them and keeps speaking in Draconic again. It's like, listen, that's what we're trying to do. Our only way out of here is going through there.
Not only way. There is another way. Take that way instead.
What's the other way?
Just keep going down the tunnel for 7 days, and you'll find another exit.
Listen, what happened? Why can't we go through your way? Shorter, we'd be out of your hair a lot faster.
We don't have hair. But if we did, you won't be in our hair at all if you don't come in here.
But, you see, we'll be farther away from you if you let us go through your tunnel there real quick.
No, you'd be much closer.
But for less time.
How about an exchange? We do something that's unique done. You're, kind of small. Most of us or some of us are larger and stronger. It can help you do something that might be difficult for you to do.
Yeah, and Maria relays what Terp says. Like, can we do something for you?
All we need from you is for you to go away.
What happens? Why won't you let us go through? We're really not looking for trouble.
Do you let people go through your house?
Yo, if a friend of mine was trying to run away from trouble and they just wanted to walk down the hall and out the back door, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Great. Go find a friend. You're not one of ours.
Listen, like my friend here says, is this something we can do for you other than just going away? Because we really would like to just take a quick run through your tunnel there.
Go find your own tunnel.
Is there nothing you need done?
Okay, hang on. Terps will reach into her bag and find some of the shinies and hold them out.
We got shinies.
There's a bunch of wood between you and them, so they can't see it.
She'll hold it out and jingle it.
We got...
Maybe you should tell them that we have shinies for them.
Yo, we got shinies.
We have these round circle metal things that you seem to like.
You hear. Go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage, Maria.
Motherfucker!
No! Go away!
So, good news, everyone. We'll finally get to do that cool cobalt dungeon.
Maria just kind of throws up her hands for a second, and it just facepalms like, alright, anybody else want to take a crack at this?
Yeah, so I think we can just set up camp here, get some rest. We'll see if they're feeling more cooperative in the morning.
Yeah, Maria will, kind of maybe whisper with Terps and be like, and the guys and be like, should we tell them now about the, bitchy bitch face back there?
If some of you can translate for me, I can let them know.
Jim leans in looking confused. What about the whole whatever happened there? Does that affect these people somehow? I think I missed something.
V will exhale softly and point towards the back of the tunnels and say, Kuntuny sent a message through. Primarily her. She's wishing to control the exit and control this tunnel. For that tunnel, we are to remove these weird creatures, as you say, kobold, whatever they are. If we are to remove them, we get 500 cool, I think, or something along the range. If not, well, they all die. Either way, she's sending people down these hallways soon.
How soon is soon? Like hours, days?
Yes, until she'll send them as soon as she can, as soon as she knows that we're out, and finds out that it wasn't cleared.
Jim starts cracking up a little as the pressure starts to bound to him. Okay, so not only do we have to convince them to let us through, but we also have to convince them to leave their home, which they're not willing to let us through, before an army of drow comes and kills them all. Wow, that's just... Jim goes and sits down by the wall, just kind of chuckling to himself.
One thing at a time. Maria, Terps, work with V to tell them about what's going on. Impress upon them that right now we're the only things that are standing between them and complete destruction. And we will gladly help them, but we need their help as well.
Okay, so you want me to tell these poor people that the drow are going to come and kill them all? This is what you're telling me?
We could try to explain to them that perhaps we could help them leave and they could find another place to make their home. I don't know how to explain it to them besides, hello, you might die here in the next few hours. I would prefer you move.
Yeah, that's probably a better way of doing it.
Terps will say, okay, can you people guard yourselves against the drow when the drow want to come if they want to come and clear you out? Is there no response?
I'm sorry, was that in character? I wasn't sure if you guys were still talking between each other.
Yeah, no, that was in character. Can you protect yourselves against the drow if they decide they want to come and kill you and clear you out?
My news here more. The elves don't care about us.
They do now.
They have no reason to be up here. They have their big city.
Tell them that their mine is part of a pathway leading to their big city, and they want to close off all the pathways. So they're coming here to do just that.
Let's just say they want to close off all access to their city. They want to, whatever the city is, which means every pathway to the city they're going to close off except for the only one that they control. So that means closing off this pathway, which means getting rid of all of you.
Do another persuasion check, this time for Terps, again with advantage. Here. And then there's a crack, and you can see just a piece of one of the boards kind of is broken back, and you see little sort of draconic-y, doggy sort of eyes peeking out.
V is immediately going to go, what is that? I just kind of peer back at these eyes in slight confusion. Is this what you've been dealing with?
They're small lizard people. Just go with it.
So you hear more, and then the wood barrier is set aside, and you can see again the tunnels leading into there. And there's 4 kobold guards blocking the path.
Thank you very much.
Tell us about the elves.
Which part do you want to know? V's going to take a closer step and hold out a hand.
What language are you speaking in there, V?
Common.
They look at you curiously, and then they look at Maria.
Maria translates.
What did you do to piss them off? Why are they coming here?
We didn't do nothing.
Terps is going to say, well, the woman that was with us had a terrible plan all along where she completely destroyed the creatures that look kind of like plants and stuff. And that's been her plan, is just to get back here and kill everything and everybody, and we were not aware of it.
You don't trust the elves.
V, kind of confused, will continue, even that they're not able to understand, but it is hoping that either Terps or Maria is able to translate. And she'll keep and say, they're coming this way, they're wanting to take over these paths. They're old mining. They don't want anyone back here. They don't want anyone back in. They want to control this. You're in the way.
And then Terps actually add on, she actually called you Foreman when we walked through the last time, and she wanted to kill you then, and we convinced her not to.
They look at each other uneasily. Oh, what are we supposed to do? We can't just move. There are 320 of us. We have families, we have children, we have old.
V will open her mouth to continue talking, but then tilt the head, and then look to the others.
Terps is going to turn and look at me. That house that we're getting, is it big enough to hold all of these?
We haven't yet looked at the house. We haven't had time. I mean, it's a mansion. Mansions usually hold enough people. By the way, they have 4 weeks to leave.
No. Terps will tell them that it's 4 weeks, and how would they... Would you be okay on the surface, or do you have to stay below?
They look horrified at the very thought. No! Cannot be on the surface. The sun is bright. We get killed up there. We stay underground.
I mean, if you got 4 weeks to go, can you get out of this region, find another bunch of tunnels?
For all of us? That will take months. We can't have families walking around for months through the dangerous tunnels. It takes scouting. It takes time, and it's very difficult to find a place to live. And we have the mushrooms here. They're not anywhere else.
Everyone, a thought occurs. The drow only wish to make sure this entrance is sealed. Yes? Well, what if we seal, in some permanent sense, the tunnel we're standing in right now? Them on one side, kobolds on the other. If we make it inconvenient enough for them to come out this way, they may simply not bother, and the kobolds don't seem to use this tunnel.
Well, Terps ask them, do you need this tunnel that's behind us, or would it be okay if we sealed this off?
That tunnel leads to our water and food, our hunting. Yes, we need it.
Actually, it doesn't need the water anymore, I don't think, because she blew up the walls, so the water's gone only to the place where they live.
Ask if they have a map of the tunnels. Let's figure out which ones they need, and which one Kuntuny and her forces are going to need, and see if we can't cut off just the ones the enemy needs for their advance, but not the ones the kobolds need for survival.
Now my question is, can Tony and the Drow go through all the stuff that we went through to get here?
Honestly, they probably could. She was alone. That was why she needed us to figure out those rooms for her in order to safely get her down there. But now that she's gotten rid of her main rivals, she'll have whatever support she can get down there.
She said she was outcast.
Wait, she got rid of her main... What the hell did I miss?
You missed a lot.
She might have been an outcast, and yet we saw that she isn't exactly weak. And who answered the question about the tunnels, I don't think whatever we do could keep her from stopping. I mean, she was able to move boulders, for God's sake.
Not so much that we have to stop her. We just have to make it seem unnecessary for her to do it.
V, seeing as you still have that stone, are you able to speak to her or only hear things from her?
But you should mention that we've actually been having a conversation while you've been talking.
All right, well, let's ask her then. If we were to block off enough of the Underdark access tunnel that would still allow the kobolds to live as they are, would she accept that and leave them be?
V relays the message, and you just see her kind of tilt the head as waiting for the answer. So V tilts it a little bit more and relays back on what's exactly. First, she says that she does not advise it, as this is a popular throughout for the Underdark, which I assume is just what we were in. If we try to collapse any of the tunnels, we would have so many people come after us, and, well, apparently have our heads. And secondly, the mine is valuable of all the rarities of exits to the outside. And there's a pause, and then V looks. I don't think that she's really going to give up any of this. She wants control, and that's it. That's all she wants out of this, is she needs the control of this entire thing, every exit.
Maria kind of pauses, is like, yo, could they maybe travel at night? Because they probably can find places to stay out of the sun during the day, and then they could travel a bit till they find some place in the mountains or something.
That's up to them, I guess. I don't know. Again, she says that they have 4 weeks to get out before her people are up here, before they come in and kill them. No matter what we do, no matter what we say to them, if we get through, if we close this off, if we're between a rock and a hard place, we have to move them, or else they die. But if we move them, they die.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Desperate people can make do sometimes. One option is we tell them, hey, listen, this is the situation. You got 4 weeks to get your asses out of here. You might have to take some risks.
First things first.
The most vulnerable they have, back to the house, safeguard them there. Then we spend 4 weeks hardening this place against the assault. If we make the price of controlling this mine too high for the drow, they'll give up. And frankly, I am really tired of seeing innocent people getting bullied.
Not that I want to be a Debbie Downer about this, but I'm not sure there's anything we can do to truly ward this place off from her, or even make it too annoying for her to bother.
Barriers, encamped defenses, trained soldiers.
Yeah, we don't know what kind of magic they got, too. They might just be able to bust open dirt walls or shit, for all we know.
Then why do we have to bother going through the Underdark, then? She's just a wizard. She's not some sort of god.
No, but she's got resources. Again, let's say, we collapse that one tunnel, right? They could probably find a way to dig through it or blast through it or something.
Us more time to harden this location.
Yeah, but eventually they're going to do it. Once they do it, that's it.
Waiting for them.
We can't fight off a drow army.
We just have to inflict enough damage that no longer becomes profitable to come in here. Think about it. She's an exile who's just gotten back in because she apparently mass murdered all of her rivals through some means that have yet to be explained to me. She can't have that much loyalty. She can't possibly control the entire drow nation.
Jim, we don't know that she's really an exile. It's entirely possible that every word she said to us was a lie. We don't know for certain. And also, this whole idea hinges on the notion that she and whoever comes with her would ever stop.
Yeah, you kill enough of them, they'll stop.
Are you sure?
We leave this up to the kobolds. What do they want to do?
Yeah, that's the other thing. We can't just make all these decisions for these people. They got to make their own.
So let's make sure that their leaders fully understand what's going on, and then we'll see what they want to do. And if all they want to do is to tell us to go away and embrace their fate, then we have to respect that.
I agree.
And at least now they know what's coming. If they just got to pick up their shit and run like hell, at least you can pick up your shit and run like hell.
During this whole time, V has been kind of in that same position of a head tilting, and you see that she got more frantic at the point, and then she just jerks her head and just curses under her breath and looks to everyone. It's like they have no choice at this point. She's not going to let up. They have
I know.
4 weeks.
We're going to tell them that. I'm sure they know how to pick up their shit and run like hell.
So we've got these 4 guards in front of us. Maria Terps, could one of you ask them to take us to their leader if one of them isn't already their leader?
Yeah. Maria will look up, who's the chieftain here?
They look at each other, then the one who's been talking just says, "That is us."
Alright, well, here's kind of the situation. The only way we're seeing right now is either run or fight, and I don't think a fight's going to do you much good. We can help you find a new home. Maybe if it came to it, we could help you fight, but it's probably best you all find a new home.
Yes, we'll have to discuss. It's not so easy to run with 325, including
No.
family and children and the old.
Well, how about this? You got 4 weeks. Maria will glance at Terps. Terps, you want to talk about giving them a spot, helping them out?
Sure. Perhaps will say, it's hard for you to pack up all your people and bring them. What if over the next 4 weeks we help you get, or the next few days, however long it will take, we help you get your most vulnerable, the old, the young families, and we bring them with us to a place that, yes, it's on the surface, but we can keep it safe while you go and find someplace new.
They look at each other, then they kind of shake their head. We're not sending our young with strangers, no. We need to send out scouts right away and try to find new places to live. If you can help, we can reward you. These mushrooms are worth a lot.
Nah, we don't need your mushrooms.
V will lightly tap on Maria and motion for her to come a little closer. We have maps, don't we? Maybe we could use those.
What about those maps we got? Do we have actually, like, out of character here, do we have maps, or?
You have a map of Henya. It doesn't really have geological structures.
Don't we have any maps of, like, this Underdark region?
Intelligence
V.
roll V.
Okay, hold on. Oh, bless you. 18.
You do remember as you're going through all the paperwork before it somehow got messed up again, that there was one map that looked old and looked sort of tunnelish.
V stands there for a moment thinking, tapping away on her chin, and then slowly nods. I think we do have some maps. So the mayor does. I'll have to go back to his office and check, but I think they do have some maps that might have tunnel systems.
Well, should we just take one or two of them as a representative so that they can see the maps and figure out if they can use them and what they need to do?
Very good idea.
If I had to guess, they wouldn't take kindly to seeing anyone from Sunder, nor would anyone from Sunder take kindly to seeing them.
Then perhaps you can take these maps back to them here, show them, and be able to plan that.
I think that would be wiser.
Once we're back, I could go in, I could get the maps, and I could give it to you. You could get to them, and we can figure that out.
Lady V, if, Maria looks slightly embarrassed to ask, but if you saw, this, tunnel map or whatever, could you just right now reproduce it? Like you got photographic memory or something?
It was in passing sight, so I don't know if it would be accurate. Even if I could try, but again, I don't know.
We'll just go back and get the map. Need to be certain.
Yeah, fair point, sorry.
We will motion back to the kobold and kind of motion to let them know that they could get the maps.
They don't seem to know what that word is.
Pictures of the roadways that are laid out so that you can see where they go and what's there.
They just look at you in confusion.
Who has the map of the honey region?
We'll pull it out and hold it up to them. Tell them they're drawings of how to find things, like new mines and tunnels to live in.
I'll assume someone passes that along. They look at the paper as if, it's you're holding out a dead rat or something. It's like, I don't know what that is, and weird. And then one of them says, and says a word to the other ones, and they all go, and the word in their language, or in Draconic, is magic. So then they nod and think, okay, use the magic to find us the tunnels, and we'll give you mushrooms.
Well, I guess that's better than nothing. We'll go and get the magic, and then we'll come back and show it to you, so we can work together on this.
Translate.
They nod, and they look, well, it's hard to tell how they look, because they have weird little dragon puppy faces.
Dragon puppy faces, okay.
And then they kind of spread out and motion for you to go forward between them, clearly blocking off, kind of casually, the exits to the rooms they don't want you to go in.
All right, let's go. Tell them thanks.
You don't need to move your things all the way through the map or anything, but they kind of escort you through, and you don't see any other kobolds except for, down other tunnels. You can kind of see some peeking out and hear kind of shushing and things because clearly there's a lot of curiosity. But eventually you make your way through the mines and back out the front, where you discover that it is early afternoon. Well, kind of medium afternoon. There's scattered clouds, but the sun is out, blue sky. It's only been a few hours, really, but feels like weeks that you've been under there.
Last fresh air.
It'll probably be early evening by the time we get back to Sunder. Considering how much we all need to rest, we should do just that. And we can bring the kobolds the map in the morning. We can also ask around town, see if anybody knows anything about nearby caves or mines. And if I could make one request of everybody, I get the need to decompress and vent and understand, but we're all tired, and I think it would be better for all of us to get something to eat, have a good night's sleep, and then we can all debrief it in the morning with clearer, refreshed minds.
Sounds good, and we need to teach you how to summarize.
Maria just kind of yawns and nods and mutters and angry swears a little bit because, Kuntuny, but...
Let's get out of here.
So you wind your way back through the shattered hills and eventually get back to the road. You make your way back to Sunder, going through the hills. The sun is peeking over the tops of the mountains to the west. Sundown always comes a little earlier here with the mountains right there. So you go to the inn, and it's its normal busy place. The innkeeper looks up, and now she recognizes you, and she smiles, says, you're all back. How's it going?
We've been better. I hope are our rooms still available?
Oh yes, you still had them paid through tomorrow.
Well, we'll definitely need them for longer than that. So, how much is that gonna cost us?
Well, it's 3 silver a night for each room.
All right, and we need some food and alcohol in whatever form it takes.
Jim doesn't even bother with dinner. He just goes straight to bed.
V's going to take a moment to look around and then just go outside to go sit on the steps of the inn.
Maria is just going to have a beer, have a hot meal, and just pass out.
You do see Connie and the elf woman who was sitting at the opposite table of you way back when you first talked to the mayor, sitting together. And there's a doughy-looking kid sitting at a table with a, rather stunning half-elven woman. And, of course, Sugi is there. She smiles at you and waves.
A weird-looking child, you say?
Not weird-looking, just, looks like he's about 17. Kind of doughy-looking, sitting with Sugi and the half-elven woman.
V is going to kind of keep sitting out on the steps for a little bit longer. Not exactly talking, not really doing anything, just brewing in all of everything that's happened in the past day. But she will come in and still look around the place, but not exactly move yet to see anyone.
There's people kind of strolling around outside. It's a nice night out. Some people nod, some people just ignore you.
Does the half-elf woman look familiar?
The half-elf woman is Neth, who runs the Blouse house. Alright, is anybody else doing anything tonight, or is everyone just going to bed after they eat?
Going to bed.
Yeah, Mountain is pretty befuddled by the whole everything, and we'll just go to bed.
Oh, Mountain, you can have Sonia's room. Don't mind the cat fur.
Okay. He'll just pat his chest and be like, "That's all right. I'm pretty fuzzy myself already."
I kind of assumed he'd be in the big room.
The big room.
His feet do kind of hang off the end of it, although it's something that he's familiar with, having been doing some wandering through human land. So he's familiar with the beds that aren't exactly made for the tallest frames.
Maria is probably okay with, the puppy pile in the big room with Terps and Yuna again. I have a feeling that if Maria is sleeping in rooming with a couple other people, especially with Terps, that she has a bad habit of ending up draped over somebody at some point, because there's a part of my head that says with being part snake, I guess part of her system is just drawn to the nearest heat source.
Well, that's exactly what happened last time you guys slept there. You all ended up in a big pile, so yeah.
I mean, only if you need to be warm, and half of you is... How does that work?
Maria sees there's a joke there about keeping him warm at night, but is just too tired to make a go at it.
All right. After getting something to eat and pitching in to maintain the party's use of the various rooms, she's gonna go just a couple steps outside the inn. She's gonna kneel on the ground. She's gonna take her shield and just wedge it into the earth in front of her with the holy symbol on it facing her, and she's going to pray. Help me, Uktuk, for the glory of your name. Deliver me and forgive me for my sins. I pray that you remove my guilt and wipe away my sins so that I can draw closer to you. I failed all those people down there, all those kids. I failed my friends. I should have been better at every turn, and I wasn't. And especially with setting that whole building on fire. I know that place was real, and there may be kids in the 80s who died in that building because of me. I don't know how to make any of it right, except just trying to do better, but I am sorry, and I beg your forgiveness.
Or religion check.
17.
1 die 12. So you feel the divine presence, and it feels, warm like usual, but not as comforting as you might hope. So you can tell Uktuk is with you, but you don't really feel assuaged by the experience. It's not that you feel like he's angry with you or anything like that, but you also don't get any sort of feeling of assurance or peace from it.
Well, then she's gonna stay out there, continuing to pray until she passes out and falls asleep.
Are you leaning against the wall, or?
No, she's kneeling on the ground in front of her shield.
Luck roll. Well, you managed to stay up through the night, but your legs, when you finally do wake up in the growing morning, are really sore and cramped, and takes you a few steps before you're able to walk without stumbling.
My current plan is wait till just before the bakery closes and viz the way in, then put on the cloak of the mysterious stranger, do this whole I am a specter of vengeance, brought forth by the nightmares of a child, repent your way, stop eating your daughter, yada yada, smack him with the shadow blade, tell him, either go confess to the mayor that you're beating up your girl, or I'm going to come back and keep doing this every week until you do. And maybe read his mind to make sure he's actually telling him to see what's actually going on. This, of course, will be done completely without the party's knowledge.
If you're gonna beat the crap out of him, why bother doing the whole repent thing first?
I want to, and it's dramatic.
Zen doing theatrics, never.
So the next morning, you all feel, well, at least less tired. Except for Yuna, who now feels really sore.
Maria yawns and pats Yuna on the shoulders, like, walk it off.
Yuna's also probably pretty cold, because it was only like 55 degrees during the night, so probably a little chilly.
I suppose the group would see her. I don't think elephants get goosebumps considering the thick skin that they have. But certainly knees and really just all her legs are a little dirty. Red-eyed, looking like she's been weeping, and limping a little bit.
Maria's just like, girl.
Morning, Maria.
Uh-huh.
What?
You look like shit, woman. What you up to? Uh-huh, and you limping?
Oh, yeah. My knees are just stiff as hell. I think I fell asleep on my knees. I'm just gonna have it'll go away in time.
Yeah, right?
I tried calling out to Uktuk last night and I didn't get much of a response.
Well, maybe your girl's busy.
Oh, I'm sure she's busy and has countless people praying to her every night. I wouldn't expect her to favor me over any of her other followers. And she'll sit down at one of the tables in the inn. I heard once that, did I hear it somewhere? Or is it some kind of residual memory? I don't know. I just got the notion that I should pray for forgiveness. And I stayed up as much as I could last night doing just that.
Forgiveness for what?
For burning the building, for putting all those people in danger, for not having a better solution to our whole predicament, for not seeing through Kuntuny's lies, for...
Yuna?
Yeah?
Kuntuny's not your business, Spendea. Like, that's on her. Shit, I didn't see her coming. But apparently bitches be like that, so whatever.
He comes down the stairs. Yes, and on that note, what precisely did she do while I was out?
Genocide.
Morning, Jim.
Good morning, Yuna. You look terrible.
Yeah, so I've heard. Well, we took her to the water reservoir. There were these mushroom people that were living there, and the place was very obviously abandoned. She wanted to just kill them all so they wouldn't get in our way, but we tried to communicate with them. They were intelligent to a point, but they were incredibly stubborn. They refused to give up even a little of the water that they had there, even though they probably didn't need it all, and they didn't care at all about the people in the poor district of that city.
Let me stop you there for 1 second. When you say mushroom people, are we talking about Toadstool, Super Mario Brothers mushroom people, or those annoying asshat mushroom people from the Dark Souls games? The really big ones that are just all mushroom, no people.
More like the latter.
Got it. Okay, please continue.
And well, we figured, well, we don't want to kill them, and they were just being completely intransigent. Terps was getting incredibly pissed, so we decided to just step out of the reservoir and take a minute and then figure out what we would do next. But Kuntuny, we thought she was right behind us, but she wasn't. She slipped away. She went deeper into the reservoir, and using her magic, she burst the whole thing open. And we watched as she guided that tidal wave of water and all the rocks, and she brought it over a section of the city and dropped it all on that section.
Oh, and let me guess, that's where her rivals were.
Yeah, whatever their names were, the ones who did her wrong before. Her son's aunt had arranged for them all to be there. So then, using all the debris and water, she wiped them out in one fell swoop.
Jim frowns and clenches his fist, slams the table. Damn it! I knew her plan didn't make any sense. She was lying to us the whole time. I was so close to realizing it, but I didn't pick up on it.
You were right that there was something wrong with her. It was just the how and the details. She thanked us afterwards. She gave us one of those stones that V made for her, the communication devices, offering to help us if we ever needed her assistance. And there wasn't anything we could do about about her, and there may have been a group of pissed off mushroom people behind us. We weren't sure. So we left.
Well, I don't really see any faults on your part. You guys tried to do everything you could right, but Kuntuny just went off and did her own thing. That's not your fault at all. And now she's going to assemble an army and go for the kobolds.
Yeah.
So I guess the plan is you guys are going to go to the mayor's estate and find that map?
That's something to do. But yeah, we gotta help those kobolds out.
We're going to go find that map and ask around town for any additional information, and then we're gonna show the kobolds that map and any additional info we get, and then we'll see where we go from there.
You guys are going to do that. I remembered something from when we were here a while ago. Kimika, young wizard, living here in Sunder, just begun to learn her craft.
That sounds familiar.
I think I was planning on talking to her. I think I'm going to go have a word with her. Maybe learn a little more about what's actually possible with magic, just to get some sense of what Kuntuny is actually capable of.
Maybe she knows a spell to locate mines or tunnels or some kind of topography spell, or maybe she knows someone who knows something. It's worth looking into.
Yeah, I'll go track her down, say hi, and see what I can find out.
All right, good call.
Turn to V and draw the short sword. Blacksmith lesbians. They have a name. Hold on.
Oh my god, it's Jim.
That wasn't in character. Relax.
Somehow I could see it being in character.
So he'll take the sword made for him by Puff and Fulf and say, V, can you infuse this, please?
I thought I already did that for you.
That was the rapier. This is a different sword. He points to the rapier.
Well, since there's not much else I can do now, so fine. Leave it on the table and I can take it for it.
So draw it, lay it on the table.
Maria, gets a cup of bark ordered for V, because...
When you go up there for the bark, the younger assistant is like, "Ooh, I tried again with the tea. Do you want to try some of that?"
What did you use?
Well, I found a different plant. You didn't like the last one.
What kind
And then he
of plant?
turns around and he runs toward the back. And after a bit, he comes back up with a cup of steaming hot tea. It was a really pretty plant. And it was so soft.
Okay.
And my hands are itchy. Just a minute.
Uh-oh.
Well, no.
Maria's not gonna take that cup.
He's still he's scratching his hands constantly as he holds it up.
Oh,
Sets the glass down really quick, and then he's like, "Yeah, it's such a soft plant. I thought it would make perfect tea. So, yeah, you should try that."
What did the plant look like?
Well, he describes it, and it sounds quite familiar to Terps and anybody else who got to see the Hellmoss.
Did we get some kind of salve from somebody?
Try our new itchy butt tea.
Try drinking that. Go ahead, try it.
No, because, no offense, dude. If it's making your hands itch, what do you think it's gonna do to me if I drink it?
Oh, that's not from that. It's probably just got sun on them or something. I don't know.
I would like to point out that nettle tea is delicious, but you don't want to touch it.
Yeah, Maria's, after the first time, Maria's like, all right. Terps, I think our friend here made some tea out of something that's making his hands itch.
Why would you do that?
He's trying. No offense, dude, but no more tea experiments, okay?
She's gonna tell him the name of the person that they got the stuff from to make it, more tolerable. You need to go to see her, and she will give you something for the itching.
Oh, I'll do that. Thanks. Are you gonna try the tea?
No.
I worked so hard on it.
I bet Falling Mountain would like some.
No, Jim.
Jim's not there. That was OC.
He would! That's the problem.
Well, is he noticing this?
I mean, he trusts the others' wisdom to a point. If they don't want to touch it, he's not going to touch it.
It actually smells really nice.
As a party, we need to establish our stance upon harming children, because Yuna is very against, but Terps doesn't really seem to mind. I mean, she was just beating them up with a mop.
Wait, what?
What are you saying?
Oh, see. Oh, no, I was referring back to the arcade. Yuna,
And throw a child.
yeah, Yuna's all upset because she blew up the arcade machine, but when Terps needed to go through, she had a mop and she was just smacking kids aside.
To be fair, they were grown-ups in her time, so she was their same age, and if they can't defend themselves against her, then too bad.
Well, yeah, I didn't mention it outright, but yeah, Yuna blames herself for Derek getting his ass kicked as hard as he got his ass kicked. He certainly needed his ass kicked, but not that much.
He didn't get his ass kicked, really. He just kind of fell over on.
As I recall, you knocked out several of his teeth.
I think so.
I mean, if you gotta fight, you gotta fight.
I don't remember that at all. I remember the thing, the cabinet breaking. Display shelf breaking. And her whacking him on him with a stick. Mop handle, whatever.
We need to watch more of Soon's videos so we actually remember the past.
No tickers!
That one might be kind of hard to watch because that's one that had the sort of echoey voices, unfortunately.
Yeah, I actually tried it. It's really annoying. No offense, son.
No. It was totally my fault. I should have tested it a little more before I did that. That's what I was doing before this one, is trying to make sure there was only one feed going to OBS instead of two. I ditched all the fancy stuff I was trying to do because it was just messing things up and making things harder. So who would like to go first?
And if no one else wants to.
All right. Well, it's a small town, so it doesn't take long to find. There she is. Kimmick. You find her. She's looking at some plants in the grass out there by the path. There's some flowers and some other things. It looks like she has maybe a little bit of a garden sort of thing going on there.
Like sort of pretty looking flowers?
There are some flowers there, and they're okay looking. It looks like it's more of a useful sort of garden than a pretty sort of garden.
Could I make a nature check to see if I could identify any of them?
Sure. Well, you see one that looks a bit like nightshade, and you see one that looks a bit like dandelions, and then a bunch of others that you don't really recognize.
Suppose we'll just sort of walk up and knock on a fence post or anything just to sort of get her attention.
She glances up and then smiles and says, "Oh, hey!
Hello there. How do you pronounce her name? Kimiki?
Kimik.
Kimik. You're Kimik. I'm Elric. I understand we have similar interests in the field of magic.
When you say similar interests, she starts to really light up, and then you say magic, and she kind of deflates just a little bit. Oh, well, yes. I do like magic. I'm not very good at it, though. If you want to talk to someone about magic, you should go see Kenny. He is so good at stuff.
And he knows it, and he makes sure you know it.
He's amazing.
Well, has he taken time to try and teach you anything?
Well, yes, he's taught me lots of things.
Such as he'll cross his arm behind his back and try to look as magisterial as he can, even though he doesn't know what that looks like.
Like, well, he taught me, well, he's going to. He said he would.
He'll move a little closer and cast Mage Hand in order to rustle the flowers a little bit so we can kind of get a better look at them.
Ooh, careful with that. Don't want to bruise the stems.
I understand. Do you know this trick?
Mage Hand? Yes.
It's a good one, fairly basic one.
Did you want something, or just talking about magic? Because I'm happy to talk about magic if you'd like to, or talk about languages. Do you like languages?
By reflex, he'll answer in Sylvan, yes.
Ooh, that's a good language too, but there's a language that's been long lost. Legend says that it's the language of the gods, which is probably just silly because why would gods have a language that is written down? But I've been collecting it and trying to revive this long dead language. That's called something that I don't remember right now. Where is my notes?
I admit, if that language is celestial, I will chuckle. But if it isn't, I'll be intrigued.
Jelric looks similarly intrigued, raising an eyebrow and saying, well, yes, I do have something of an interest in the various languages. I apparently speak 5 of them, now that I think about it.
Well, the language is called Shisui, and I'm trying to piece together all the examples of it I can. We have a sort of club. We meet and we try talking in the language, although it's really hard because there's so hard to find enough words to even put together a sentence. So we're always trying to gather more information on the language.
Well, could I see your notes, see what you have thus far?
I would be delighted. In fact, you're with the new people in town, right?
Indeed I am, yes.
Well, maybe you can help me then.
Certainly be willing to give it some thought.
There's a tower out in the middle of the forest between here and the mountains, about a day and a half away. And it's got words of this language inscribed on a stone. And I've always wanted to go out there and get a rubbing of it so I could study it, but it's just too dangerous to go through the woods by yourself. Well, of course, a place like that has always got rumors of monsters and things, so I'd be willing to pay you if you guys could go out and get a rubbing of the stone.
Jim sort of nods, thinking it over, considering it. I'll have to talk to the rest of the team to see if they're interested. We're in the middle of another project at the moment, but it's certainly our kind of work, yes.
Lovely. If you want to come to my house later, I'm all the way along the road here, just at where the path starts to turn. That's my house there on the corner. I can show you my notes. I'll be there this afternoon. I still have to do some more of this planting first.
Splendid. I shall see you then.
Lovely.
And Jim walks away, having completely lost the plot about whatever it was he was supposed to do there. But at least he picked up the side quest.
Well, that's what games are all about, picking up side quests.